For Finn and Ross Beaulieu, this is what they face every winter. The brothers have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's a genetic condition that breaks down their muscles and gradually weakens their bodies. These wheelchairs are their independence. It's how they get around.
It's hard for accessibility when there's piles of snow in the parking spots.
What happens when your wheelchair gets all gunked up with snow?
Usually have to push it and take 2 to 3 people. It's like 500 pounds, so it's pretty heavy.
For the brothers who live out of town, a highlight is trips to the downtown core for shopping. Those visits are put on pause every time there's a fresh dump of snow.
We can have to tell them, like, it's not safe to go to town because there are no spots. The spots are filled with snow. The ramps are slippery, so it's not safe to go. They get frustrated. They get anxious to be around the house.
Someone who sees that frustration firsthand is their older brother.
Yeah, worry all the time, and we always, my folks and I always kind of, constantly reinforce to their care aides and constantly remind ourselves to, not let them, cross the street alone and stuff. Even though they're in their 20s, they're grown men. They should be able to do what they want and have the freedom and accessibility and safety.
This month, Ross and Finn went to City Hall, urging the city to prioritize accessible parking. While there, they found out the public washroom deemed accessible wasn't.
It said it was accessible, but it was pretty small and I couldn't fit my wheelchair in.
Then what happened? What did you have to do?
Couldn't use the bathroom.
It's not good.
No.
Someone who's been spinning tires of his own is Ramesh Ferris. For decades, he's been pushing the city to do more to improve accessibility for all Yukoners. He's used to fighting. Born in India, at 6 months of age, he was diagnosed with polio. His legs left paralyzed.
I've only known living a life with disability. I rely on leg braces and forearm crutches. So this is my way of life, and I want to be able to have a life that I have access to programs and services freely with no barriers such as snow and ice.
Walking down Main Street, Ferris points out the various ways the city has been out of touch to his needs and many others.
I've informed Mayor and Council several times that all of the city accessible parking spots, they don't even actually meet any barrier-free access codes. They're regular spots just with a accessible sign or painted blue.
Ferris says right now the city has no money earmarked to change that and make accessible parking a priority.
And that is ridiculous, I hand cycled across Canada, but I can't walk 4 blocks in downtown Whitehorse to work. Does every life have value in Whitehorse? And so that's the question here. And how are they demonstrating that? They're not.
Are we all Yukoners here, or do we have some visitors? Yukoners!
This is Sharon Shorty, doing what she loves. Last June, the well-known storyteller and comedian was on stage when something didn't feel right.
I was emceeing the show, and I said to I don't know, you guys, I might have to leave early, which I've never done. I've always finished a gig, no matter how sick I am.
Soon after, her health took a drastic turn.
I went out to go to the washroom, and I could not move my legs. Completely out of the blue.
Shorty would spend the next 4 months in a hospital bed.
It was very difficult. I got out October 24th, and couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. That started a different journey. But I got to see October 24th. That's our winter. And we started to negotiate, trying to get to the doctors, trying to get to, hey, I'm out of the hospital. I'd like to go to a restaurant. Or I'd like to go to the grocery store, things I haven't done for 4 months.
Simple tasks suddenly became much more complicated. Shorty and I have met up for a drive.
Audio check.
Hey, Hey, this is Sharon Shorty.
And you sound
and
fantastic.
Main streets of Whitehorse that I grew up on.
Right on.
I walked on these streets, but alas, I can walk no more.
Through a new lens, she's learning how to navigate the city she grew up in. One of the reasons I wanted to drive around with you is because I saw you post something the other day where your feet were covered in snow as you were in an accessible spot.
Yes.
Why don't you take me there?
Yeah, let's go there.
These days, Shorty needs a walker to get around. Her life requires more planning. It's filled with more unknowns. Unknowns like whether or not a parking spot deemed accessible will be. We're always in a hurry in Whitehorse. What's that like when you're crossing the street now?
It's stressful.
Yeah. Shorty has taken us to a spot she posted about the day before on social media. So you're in the passenger seat here, say in this vehicle. The door opens.
Yeah. It doesn't look like they cleared it at all, in my opinion.
This month, Shorty went to City Hall to urge local officials to take accessible parking seriously. As it stands now, there is no clear policy outlining who's responsible for keeping parking spots clear of ice and snow, something confirmed in an email from city staff.
See, it's very hard to go through this.
And we haven't had, for Yukon standard, we haven't had much snow.
We haven't had any snow.
She points out the spot she was at the day before. The snow appears to be untouched.
I'll show you. Those are my footprints. Watch. I know, because it's that right there.
Perfect fit. That's not good.
It's like Cinderella.
Shorty says until maintenance of spaces like this one become a priority, she will keep fighting.
I'm not going to say I'm not afraid, but I'm willing to speak up about it, and I'm willing to talk to any of the people I need to talk to and have access to. And so I view it as this is going to be a next phase of my life, you know, advocacy for disabilities, people with disabilities, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
The city is set to review accessible parking when it looks at its snow and ice control policy at an upcoming council meeting. George Maratos, CBC News, Whitehorse.